Welcome everybody to Connessioni. My name is Taisha Simpson or Corona Anahata Ma'at. And today, y'all know how I do. Um, I don't, what's crazy is I grew up I love research, right? I love research. I'm a first line in human design. I love research. And so when I come up with the topics for y'all, it is stuff that I've highly researched, right? But I have an open throat in human design. Hey, Edward. Hey, Christina. So I have an open throat in human design. So when I plan, it's not the same as when I let what needs to come through based on who is watching or who I'm speaking to. With the open throat, what comes forth is what the person in front of me needs to hear from me, or you know what I mean? So every time I come up with the topic, it usually takes me a long time because I'm not just picking a topic and saying this is what I'm doing. And so when I came up with the topic, the sacred witness, I was really thinking that okay, I'm going to have this geared towards the workbooks that I've been putting out and all this stuff because I dropped Hall of Mirrors, which is a process and workbook on how to process trauma, how to process all the different mirrors in our life. It shows us why and how to see those mirrors and why they show up. But then, y'all, like I started to realize that we needed to take it a step back. And so I started doing the witness workbook. And so when I was like, this week is going to be the sacred witness, I was thinking that it was going to be about the sacred witness in terms of the workbook. But of course, that's not what it's going to be about, y'all. So today, the sacred witness is actually going to be about when you are the sacred witness to yourself and when you surrender to yourself, the impacts of that and what happens and the catalyst that you are for others when you surrender to your own witnessing yourself in your journey. And so this week, so in general, y'all, you know, life happens, going through a bunch of life stuff, and of course, I talk a lot about surrender. I talk about being able to be unmovable, like, or being able to understand, like, why something is happening. And back in March, I started to buy a ticket to go to New York to see my mom. And it just kept saying error, it kept saying error. So I was like, okay, well, clearly I ain't supposed to get the ticket right now, so I had to just chill, right? So, hold on, y'all. It's saying, okay, I'm on the Wi-Fi. So, the ticket saying error, so I'm like, okay, well, obviously my higher self knows something I don't know. Maybe I'm going to need to go to New York during a different time, or maybe I will not be leaving from Phoenix. It was just all this stuff. And then stuff started happening that made sense to why the ticket wouldn't go through. Like, I had to move, I had to do all this stuff. And then, in the midst of, like, moving and stuff, like, just stuff starts happening, y'all. Like, my car, stuff starts happening with my car, all this stuff. And I started this job, which I know I wasn't supposed to do, right? So, getting my own lessons through everything. And the job canceled at the same time that the car, like, was gone. So that day is the day that I wrote the witness workbook. I woke up and I wrote the workbook really quickly. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. You know, I'm going with the flow, whatever. It's all good. Move, do all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, I got to get a car. I hadn't asked my grandmother for anything, right? Like, ever. And so she was like, I'm going to send you this money for your car. And so then I was put into this, like, crazy waiting period. So from that job that I did, the last day was the 7th of April. I didn't get paid till the 24th, which was like, day for yesterday. And my grandmother sent me this money for my car, and it didn't come for a week, and it was supposed to come in like 2 days, right? So it didn't come for like a week, so I had to wait, right? So getting all my lessons, because I'm supposed to wait. And I'm like, there's, you know, things I don't know, right? Because I'm not that great with money, right? So I'm like, I'm going to need this money for something that I don't foresee. So money comes, everything happens, whatever. And I actually get more money than I thought, like, um, from like the job and like from other things that I was waiting for. So I actually ended up having like a really great amount. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go get a car, and I love the auction. Like I love the auction. I've gotten some great cars from the auction. So I'm like, let me go look and let me study and let me see what's going on at the auction. So I do. I find some great cars, y'all. Cars like with 30,000 miles, 50,000 miles, nice cars. And so I'm like, all right, this is what we're doing. And I go to like register to bid, and I am not yet approved to bid. So I'm like, okay, I gotta still wait. I gotta still wait. So now the next auction is not till May 10th. Now, the thing is that if I wait, it is a way better situation. Like, I already looked, and it's a bunch of stuff that was seized. So it's a bunch of really nice stuff. It was like repossessions and stuff like that. So it's a bunch of really nice cars, to be honest with you. So I gotta wait. But now this is where I'm getting to the message for the week, y'all. I was sitting down with my good, beautiful, beautiful sister. Y'all know I call the people, the women in my life, or the people in my life, y'all know I call them multiple things. So I, sister, auntie, grandmother, mother, child, friend, partner, love. And so I'm sitting down with Barbara, and we talking, and I'm having to stay, at Barbara's place, and I'm having to stay over here. And anytime there's a transition, like, this is family. So over the past few years, this has happened where I've had to be in like a transition space, and I'm witnessing like the people involved in the situation as well. And I'm so happy to just see like what I see, like see the evolution, see the different things. And I'm sitting with Barbara, and she's expressing to me how she feels. I'm sitting with Olivia, and she's expressing to me how she feels. I'm sitting with Wadisha, and she's expressing to me how she feels. And I'm like, yo, like, especially as the projector, like, we think success is when you're pushing for a version of success, you really miss out on the true success that's happening underneath the surface. And if I am not in a space of surrender, if I want to control, my ego is really searching for a perfect depiction of what a life should look like, right? It's searching for my conditioning. Like, oh, me and my daughter need to have our own house and our own this and our own that. We have to look like this and have to have this car, and we have to have this and this and this. And I'm looking at how much, if I had those things, I would not be doing what I'm doing, and I would also not be in the space to receive what I received from these people in my life. And so what I received was this. In the time that I've met these women, I've seen them all evolve, and I've also evolved, right? But I received so much gratitude and recognition, and I'm so happy to have met you and that you're in our lives and stuff like that. And I'm like, yo, and I'm looking at their profiles, right? I'm pulling in human design, I'm looking at their profiles. And I'm like, yo, like, Taisha, you really be perfectly placed. Because even before this situation, the two people that were in my close proximity when I was living were all situations in which lessons needed to be learned, things needed to be learned in order for them to really step more into their magnificence. So I'm watching these women step more into their magnificence, and I'm watching myself step more into my magnificence, and I'm watching my 1-3 projector, like, not only what I've learned, research, experience, and who I am, I'm watching them be able to create a space for other people to learn and grow and nourish that parts of themselves that really we did not have an opportunity to. We didn't learn these things. We didn't grow with these things. We come from a lot of limited beliefs. So to be able to be in a space where I'm always in a space where I get to be who I am, just me, just my embodiment, just what I got to say, just my heart, just what I bring. I just be coming from a space of just witnessing. I just be coming from a space of just being. You know what I'm saying? And so to be received in that way, I knew that today's message was going to be about witnessing yourself and others in such a way that and witnessing your journey to see that the success that is happening may not look like the success that you search for, because your ego will want to take the easiest route when your higher self is guiding you as an embodiment, as a catalyst for others that need to guide others from their embodiment. What I love about the fact that I'm giving this live right now is that where I am is in Connessioni. And in Connessioni, you are facilitators and space holders. And the God's guide. A lot of times you may be in an uncomfortable space and you need to be witnessed in that space and how you are in that space. This is what when we talk about ascended masters, when we talk about, oh, they did this, they put Jesus on a cross, or they did this to Joan of Arc, or they did this to, the many, many deities, really. Like, we can go endless, nameless, we can go infinite, right? It is never, and I always say this part, but it's never the belief systems that we should be, or the exact stuff. It's never like the surface stuff that we should be looking at within that. It's always, who were they in that? How were they being? You know what I'm saying? When people were doing the things that they were doing, how were they being? When they were going through the situations they were going through, you know what I'm saying? When Kwanye was going through being raped and pillaged and all these things by, men that, like, her father approved, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then when it came that time that he needed something like an organ, she was able to give it. It's that. It's like, you really be perfectly placed. And so, witness yourself. And maybe this won't even be long today, right? Because, like, when I talk about perfectly placed, I talk about, like, to others, they may perceive me as, oh, Taisha maybe come late on the live, or Taisha maybe miss days. But everything is perfect. Like, for me in my life, and my Libra sun is in the 52, which is the stillness of the mountain. Moving mountains, like, just by surrendering, like, just by being like, okay, this is what's happening, this is where it's at, whatever, whatever. While also getting my lessons that I need for my own growth. While others are serving catalysts for me, while others are serving me, while others are being a sacred witness to me. Being a sacred witness, being in this sumatak, being a keeper of sacred space, is being able to be in the midst of everything and still be able to witness. Being able to witness other people's stuff and be able to see that everybody involved has something that that this sets a stage for them. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what lessons my daughter asked for. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I could access that, right? We into the Akashic. Y'all know we in Connessioni. We can access that, but on a surface level, right? Or when we're in the midst of something, it's not always easy to hear the voice of the higher self when your ego is like, oh, this is going on, and this is this and this, and her dad is this. She has her own lessons, so a sacred witness can see that. A sacred witness can create the space for that. A sacred witness can understand the perfection and what is happening when everything is really serving. And so, yeah, that is really what I came over here to say today. That's really what I came over here to talk about today. Is that with what others may perceive, especially when it comes to a third line, with what others may perceive as like a chaos and a turmoil, is always a situation in which perfection is happening. Because my ego will really try to control what is happening. And so, let's add another layer. So, my mom needs to have her heart scanned. And my dad has a brain aneurysm and is waiting for results for a brain tumor. So, I think about the fact that I have this money that I have to just save and sit on and wait. And I have to. Because I can't play around if I need to get up and go and see my father or my mom or my family in general, right? My cousins, my aunties, my grandparents, like. And my higher self knew that, right? Because I just found out that news about my dad this month, like in the last week or two, where when I tried to book that ticket in March, my higher self knew. Because remember, when we're having a physical thing, we talking about cancer, disease. When we're having a physical thing, the physical body is the last line of the physical body is the, baby, that's a symptom for the root. It been festering in the root since childhood, possibly. Since before then even. But that's another conversation for another day. But it's been festering in the root. And so when it manifests in the body, baby, it been in there. So my higher self already knew, in alignment with my parents, in alignment with my life, in alignment with whatever the case is, that, yo, this thing is going on with inside your parent. And so, look, girl, no, you're not going to get that money right now. When you want it, when you want to control, when you think you want to go get this apartment and you want to go get this car and you're going to need to fly out. I was only able to see that if I was able to really witness myself and others. If I was able to sit and observe and not be caught up in the fact that I'm an empath. I'm open. I feel everything. And it's not a shot, y'all. It's just to say that it's time we step into the space of really witnessing ourselves and our journey and understanding what is going on, so that we do not come from a place of reaction, but we come from a place of response. We are perfectly placed. The people you meet, the train that's late, witness yourself, witness your surroundings, be present in your moment. That's the sacred witness. When you sitting with a client, don't be searching for what is the next thing you're going to say, or what is the next thing this is about to be, or what I got the plan for them. Witness. See all sides. See what's going on. See infinite possibilities in those possibilities, in those possibilities, in those possibilities. Infinite, like. And so when we talk about the sacred witness, y'all, I'm telling y'all, start to step outside yourself and really observe. Shit, start recording or writing down. You know, really witness. And witness the stories you tell yourself when shit is going what you perceive as left. Because what you perceive as left could be going right. Is going right. Because again, the higher self is knowing so much more. And I know it may feel like I give that message so much, but it's so needed. And it really is a trigger point to the compassion that needs to be given in the world, the love that needs to be given in the world, is really surrendering to the fact that we know nothing. From the conscious mind, we know nothing. Then we got the subconscious mind doing whatever it's on. 95% of the stuff, which is a lot of stuff, right? But your higher self is orchestrating every piece and every part. So, sacred witness, y'all. I think that's where I'm going to leave it at today. Like I said, I be on divine timing. My slot is 1 hour, 11 or 12. But I'm coming in when, like, perfect timing. When we talk about perfect time, I'm going to say one more thing. I'm going to say one more thing. When we talk about perfect time, I'm going to say one more thing. Because when my daughter decided to go back to school, I really realized this. It's such an intricate setup for the stress. It's such an intricate setup for the stress, for you to believe that you have to be constricted to exactly what the linear outline of what it should be. And I hope you understood me when I said that. And what I mean by that is that if I say, hey, this is this and this, give space to be flexible within that. And really, I was talking to Olivia the other day, and maybe it's a millennial thing. We was talking about how relaxed millennial management is, and it's like, yeah, like, I really be like, yo, you on divine time, and like, you being stuck in traffic could have been saving you from an accident. I don't know. And so you got to be the sacred witness to your life. What's up, Devron? You got to be the sacred witness to your life, y'all. Because you don't know who needs to witness you, and so that they could be that for another, so that they can activate more, that they could grow more. I mean, it's just so beautiful. And Barbara, you on a live, so I just want to tell you, like, it's just so beautiful witnessing your expansion and talking to you yesterday or the day before, whatever day we sat on the porch. It really put into perspective to me that the ego will search for what the ego feels is success. And y'all know, the ego search for what the ego feels is success, and like any projector that needs to hear this. But the success isn't how perfectly placed you are to impact the lives of somebody else. To impact the lives of somebody else, yo. That needs to be activated in a grander way so that they can impact even more people. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we talk about impact, we think we gotta sit on a stage. We think we gotta sit on a stage of millions. But impact is really the fact that you activated that bookstore owner that, you know what I'm saying, is gonna, so many people are gonna come through their bookstore, you know what I'm saying? So many other people are gonna meet them. When you impact the lives of a child, when you impact the lives of your sisters and brothers on the planet, like, I'm telling y'all, sometimes we be thinking that you not, oh, I'm going through this, or I'm not where I need to be, and you be so perfectly where you need to be. And so I'm just here to say, like, really witness yourself, witness your journey, witness other people in such a different way than you've ever had before, because what we see is something crazy, is something that's so beautiful. Even in message, but even everybody that know me know how I do Thanksgiving. That's my ancestral ascension time, because we would not exist without all that has happened. We would not exist without all our ancestors and those before us. And so be the sacred witness to life, because all this shit is a stage. This shit is a play. This shit is conscious energy just having a good old time with itself, getting to know itself through your embodiment, through being you, through being me, through being another person, through being a rock, through being a tree, through being a cat. God gets to experience all of itself, and that's amazing and beautiful, and that just allows us to surrender a little bit more to life. When we see something, like, judge a little less. You know what I'm saying? Because everything is perfect. What looks like failure to you is thousands of people being activated, right? Like, that's crazy. So that's what I had to talk about today, y'all. Let me see, what time is it? 11:46. And I don't know. I came up maybe 11:15, 11:30. But again, it's not about how long I get on here. It's about the impact. It's about the potency. And so I hope y'all heard me today. I love y'all. And now y'all have me on here crying. Now I know stuffy, but I wanted y'all to see me cry too, because that is a part of it. Is like, allow yourselves to feel the stuff that my father is going through, and he's trying to be so stoic through it all, and I'm just like, yo, but you just need to just go off. You just need to just feel. Really just allow yourselves to feel in these seasons that's here, and in these seasons that's coming, and in any moment that you are in your present awareness to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to activate the sacred witness of another, ask, hey, can you witness me right now? And I don't need advice, and I don't need this, and I don't need that. I just need you to hold space for who I am in this moment, with whatever story my ego finna tell, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just ask for it. Because that's what we're here to do, y'all. We're here to really just witness each other back into our own remembrance of the God we are, of the love we are. That's it. You know what I'm saying? But all right, I love y'all. Peace, players. Peace.